The subject of today's video is the creation of the world. When I was a child, I believed everything that I was taught. I believed in Heavenly Father and Jesus. I believed in Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy, and I believed in the Catholic interpretation of the magical creation that the earth was created in 6 24-hour days and the earth was only 6,000 years old. Well, truth is confirmed by evidences. I knew that Heavenly Father and Jesus were real because I remember being with them before I was born. But it did not take me too long or too many years to figure out that Santa and the Tooth Fairy and the Easter Bunny were not real. By the time I was 8, I knew the truth about them. It took me a bit longer to not believe the Catholic creation. After all, it was coming from the church, from people that were supposed to know. By the time I was a teenager, there was a lot of discussion about who was right, science or religion. There was not any evidence to confirm the Catholic creation, but there was plenty of evidence to support the idea that the earth was more than 6,000 years old. At that point in time in my life, I was studying with the Lord about so many more important issues that I did not take the time. I didn't bother to investigate the truth about the creation. Someone said that the day for the Lord is like 1,000 years for man. So, okay, the earth is maybe 13,000 years old instead of 6,000. And I left it at that. Then along came the Big Bang Theory. I never really investigated that idea either, but I did try to imagine if there was a Big Bang, what would it look like, and what evidence would there be to support it. I imagine that if there was a Big Bang, that somewhere there should be a void where the explosion occurred. Since there was no such void in the middle of our visible universe, the explosion must have occurred outside the visible universe. So if you look in the direction of the younger galaxies, the explosion must have occurred in that direction, and left it at that. It was not until after I was sanctified that I found out the truth about the creation. I was in the temple one day, and the Lord came in and asked me what I wanted to know. I told him that I wanted to know the truth about the creation and the past, present, and future, and to see things the ancient prophets saw. The Lord said okay and left. A few days later, I was reading the creation story with my wife when a vision filled my mind of what was happening. The vision was like remembering something I had experienced. It was perfectly clear as if it was yesterday. One of the things I took note of was that a day of creation took a lot longer than 24 hours or 1,000 years. I asked the Lord, how long is a day of creation? The Lord asked me how we calculate a day for man. I said 1 revolution of the earth on its axis. Then he asked me what a day for the earth would be. I figured it would be the 1 revolution of the earth around the sun. But man had not been put on the earth, and the earth was without form and void. So what is the next revolution? The sun around the center of the galaxy. How long does it take for the sun to go around the galaxy? Several hundreds of millions of years. So if a revolution around the center of the galaxy is at least 200 million years, the Earth would be as young as 1.4 billion years old, and if it were more likely between 6 and 700 million years, that would make the Earth around 4 billion years old. The evidence supports that that is the age of the Earth. Okay, so based on the idea that the Earth was created in billions of years, not hundreds of, not just thousands of years, but billions of years, uh, how did it all get started? You see, if you read in the beginning, what is it talking about in the beginning of what? In the beginning of the history of the earth. Of which earth? This earth, ours. It's not the beginning of all of creation. The fact of the matter is that if the earth is, in fact, 4 billion years old, then all of the other stars and planets and galaxies were created long before this earth was created. And so, let's look at the first day of creation. And I'll tell you what I saw. Okay? Out in the galaxy, there are clouds of star and planet making material that is called in science the nebula. All right. So, and from looking through the telescope at these nebula, the nebulae are filled with stars. Okay, so what I saw was that there was a star and there was a planet revolving around the star, and the planet was covered with water. And I heard the voice of God say, "Let there be life," because light and life are the same thing. And God said, "Let there be life." And out of the sun, out of the star, because it wasn't our sun, it was another star, there came a fireball of material that crashed into the ocean of the planet. And I saw that in the ocean of the planet, that fireball was embedded into the bottom of the ocean, and there conceived a new planet. And that planet was to be baby Earth. Okay, what did I learn from that experience? I learned that the Earth is alive. It is a living thing, and that it was born, that it had parents. It had a father star and a mother planet. And then, as I've gotten older and as I've revisited the vision, I've come to realize that our solar system is a living organism. And not just our solar system is living, but the galaxy is a living organism. And that everything that is created in the universe, all the stars and galaxies, are living organisms. God is the creator of life. So, for several hundreds of millions of years, the Earth grew within the ocean of the mother planet. And that was the first day of creation. All right? Several hundred million years of incubation. So that brings us to the second day of creation. What happened on the second day of creation? It talks about the separation of the waters. Okay, what were the waters referred to? The waters that were referred to is the mother planet, and the greater water is the mother planet, and the lesser water it would be baby Earth. Okay, so what I saw is that as the Earth got bigger, there began to be a bulge in the mother planet, and she was heavy with child, and she turned on her axis so that her axis was pointed towards the star. And so baby Earth popped out from its mother planet, and because it was going down towards the gravity of the father planet, and so you had the greater water above, which was the mother planet, and baby Earth below, which was the lesser water, and there was space in between. So that was the second day of creation.